In the mystery of Flight 804, pieces of the missing jet picked up at sea, the new recordings from the cockpit.
Thank you so much. Good day. Good night.
And now smoke detected inside that plane. What happened in those final moments? Donald Trump on a Twitter tirade against Hillary Clinton over guns. Why he says she doesn't deserve Secret Service protection. Breaking news, not one but two racehorses collapse and die at the start of a big day at the track. Distracted drivers beware. Vigilantes taking matters into their own hands when you take your hands off the wheel.
You're endangering your child as well as everybody else that's on the roadways.
And the all-girl baseball team taking on the boys, already in a league of their own.
I want to beat the boys! Let's go, Peaches!
This is ABC World News Tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Cecilia Vega, and we begin tonight with the mystery of Egypt Air Flight 804. We are hearing for the first time the pilot's radio calls, and now the new clues. We know there was smoke on that plane during its final moments, so was there a mechanical failure too? Today, the Egyptian military gathering pieces of debris floating in the sea. Among them, mangled parts of the plane itself. And there at the left, a child's pink backpack. Those objects, signs of the lives lost. And we are learning more about those passengers tonight, too, including the parents on their way home, their children waiting for them at the airport. ABC's Matt Gutman starts us off from Cairo.
As the physical remnants of that doomed plane were laid out on a ship, tonight we hear for the first time the voices of the men flying it.
Hello, H-804 Flight 7370.
That is a recording of the flight deck's communications with the air traffic control tower early Thursday. Their final words, chillingly mundane.
Thank you so much. Good day. Good night.
Minutes later, that plane would disappear from radar, cause still unknown. What was apparent today, the violence of that breakup. The Grizzly Hall spotted from the air and scooped up by small inflatables like this. It included parts of the plane itself, twisted pieces of metal with the Egypt Air logo, the shredded and waterlogged remnants of a seat, a life jacket that was never inflated, and also the possessions of the people it carried, clothes, a purse. Tonight, the search for more of the wreckage ramping up on its third day, aided by 24-hour-a-day flights by U.S. aircraft using sophisticated equipment to scan the water. And now, ABC News has learned ships able to scan the ocean floor also sailing into place, hoping to find the black boxes, which could be in water 10,000 feet deep. As search crews scour the area, families mourn. Grief bringing this grandmother to her knees, and 3 children who waited to greet their parents at the airport. Their mother was returning triumphant after successful cancer treatment, only that plane never landed.
For those families, seeing how badly mangled the debris was must have shattered all hope that anyone could have survived. And the reason the plane went down still very much a mystery tonight. ISIS releasing a 30-minute diatribe against the West, but not claiming responsibility for bringing the plane down. Cecilia.
So many questions still, Matt. Thank you. And next to the search for answers about what happened to that flight, investigators are now looking closely at alerts indicating there was smoke in the cabin, and that is raising new questions about what may have caused Flight 804 to come down. ABC's David Curley with that part of the story.
It could have been smoke, even fire, rather than a bomb that brought down the Egypt Air jet. Could a fire actually overtake the crew in a matter of moments?
The smoke could. The smoke is what what brings airplanes down when they're fired the cockpit.
The Airbus A320 was equipped with a data transmission system called ACARS, which French investigators say sent 7 messages in the final moments of flight. Alarmingly, one message came from the avionics, the equipment bay. This is where the jet's electronics and computers are housed. That bay is right below the cockpit and the forward lavatory. At 2:26 a.m., messages sent to the satellite and the pilots, window sensor warnings. But seconds later, this pops up, lavatory smoke. Then only a minute passes and another message, this time avionics smoke. At 2:29, signals warning of trouble with the flight control systems. And then, nothing. No further transmissions. The A320 disappears from radar.
If it was a bomb, could have been a bomb, it would have been something that would have caused a fire, not a blast. Also, it's very difficult to get this kind of bomb in the avionics bay.
It's those black boxes now on the bottom of the Mediterranean which will tell us exactly what happened. Listening equipment like this will likely be deployed soon when searchers think they are near the wreckage, listening for those black box pingers. Their batteries may die as early as 3.5 weeks from tonight. If it turns out to be a mechanical electrical issue, that will be a major concern because the A320 is one of the most popular jetliners in the world. Nearly 7,000 have been delivered by Airbus. Cecilia?
A concerning prospect indeed. David Curley, thank you. Next to that scare at the White House, an armed man at a security checkpoint refusing to drop his weapon, then shot by the Secret Service. It happened yesterday afternoon. The president was not there at the time. Tonight, the gunman identified as Jesse Oliveri of Ashland, Pennsylvania. He is in the hospital. No word yet on a motive. And we do have breaking news from the racing world to tell you about. 2 horses dying on the same day, just as crowds gathered ahead of the Preakness Stakes, the second leg of the Triple Crown. And as ABC's Ron Claiborne reports, the same thing has happened at this track before.
It was the first race at Pimlico on Preakness Day.
Homeboy Chris gets home to win it by a head of the opener.
The winner, a 9-to-1 long shot named Homeboy Chris. The 9-year-old showing no signs of trouble as his jockey walked him around the track afterward. But minutes later, on his way back to his barn, Homeboy Chris collapsed and died. 3 races later, misfortune struck again. This time, a 4-year-old filly named Promedia went down mid-race with a fractured front leg. She was euthanized right on the track, her jockey suffering a broken collar.
It's just so untimely and so unfortunate to have 2 horses lose their lives when the world really is watching on Maryland's biggest day of racing.
In a tragic irony, Promedia's owners also owned Barbaro, the Kentucky Derby winner who shattered his leg in the Preakness 10 years ago and had to be put down 8 months later. Horse racing is an arduous, risky sport. Nearly 500 racehorses die each year. Tonight, that danger highlighted on one of the sport's biggest days. An autopsy will be performed on Homeboy Chris, but a heart attack is what is suspected. Tonight, his owner saying in a statement, Chris had a small team who loved him. We are all heartbroken. Cecilia?
Okay, Ron, thank you. We turn next to the race for the White House. Guns at the center of the debate tonight. Donald Trump saying Hillary Clinton's stance on guns means she does not deserve Secret Service protection. This a day after his big meeting with the NRA. Clinton tonight holding a meeting of her own with victims of gun violence. Here's ABC's David Wright with the latest war of words.
One day after locking up the NRA endorsement,
crooked Hillary Clinton is the most anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment candidate ever to run for office.
Donald Trump aimed an outrageous tweet at his likely Democratic opponent, suggesting her Secret Service detail lay down their weapons. Crooked Hillary wants to get rid of all guns, and yet she is surrounded by bodyguards who are fully armed. No more guns to protect Hillary. It's an idea he first raised in the NRA speech.
Let's see how they feel walking around without their guns on their bodyguards.
Clinton has made reducing gun violence a centerpiece of her campaign in ads such as this one.
She is the only candidate that has what it takes to take on the gun lobby.
But she's never said that gun ownership should be banned. She has called for stricter background checks, more accountability for gun manufacturers, and stronger efforts to keep guns away from terrorists, violent criminals, and the mentally ill. Tweeting, "You're wrong, Donald Trump. We can uphold Second Amendment rights while preventing senseless gun violence." Tonight, she's the keynote speaker at an event with mothers who lost their children to gun violence, including Trayvon Martin's mom, her son killed by George Zimmerman in 2012. Clinton's views on guns have remained pretty consistent. Trump's not so much. In the past, he's been critical of the gun lobby, and while he told the NRA he'd get rid of gun-free zones, he might have to start with some of his own properties. Cecilia?
David Wright, thank you. We turn to a major development from the conflict in Afghanistan and Pakistan tonight. A U.S. official saying the head of the Taliban was targeted and likely killed in an airstrike. Mullah Mansour was reportedly struck in an airstrike operated by U.S. Special Operations Forces in a remote area of Pakistan. The strike authorized by the president. And next to the Zika emergency, the number of pregnant women with the infection suddenly tripling. The CDC had been reporting 48 pregnant women with Zika here in the U.S. Tonight, that number jumping to 157. And now a new country facing an ominous prospect. ABC's Gio Benitez reporting in from Miami.
Tonight, a baby in yet another country may have the birth defect caused by Zika. If confirmed, Costa Rica would become the 9th territory to have an infant born with an abnormally small head linked to the virus. This comes after the CDC's release of troubling new numbers Friday. Pregnant women in the U.S. and Puerto Rico infected with Zika spiking to nearly 300 cases. The reason for the jump? The CDC was not including women who showed no symptoms. They now acknowledge those expectant moms do have a higher risk of having a child with a birth defect.
They can have an asymptomatic infection, but this can still affect their newborns.
Sarah Mujica is the first pregnant American woman with Zika who has come forward after contracting it in Honduras.
It was just like such hard news to take in all at once. And my first thought was, what am I going to do? You know, and I asked my mom, what am I going to do?
She's now decided to have her baby.
And Cecilia, what's so concerning to doctors right now is that women are being infected in Puerto Rico. That's just 1,000 miles away from here. Not such a distant threat anymore. Cecilia?
Okay, Gio, thank you. We want to turn now to record deadly heat in India. Temperatures in the northwestern part of the country reaching almost 124 degrees in recent days, breaking a 60-year record. That hot weather blamed for hundreds of deaths, the heat rising above 100 degrees every day for weeks now. Relief not expected until next month when monsoon season begins. And here at home in Arizona's Mojave Valley, wild winds are fueling fierce wildfires. You can see right there the thick smoke billowing across the desert. Evacuations ordered. Officials blame a downed power line or a transformer for that blaze that has now devoured 400 acres and counting. And next to the severe weather, a tornado watch in 3 states at this hour, and now the threat of thunderstorms in the plains, too. Take a look at this. Up to 8 inches of hail falling. That's in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Some tough driving there. And ABC meteorologist Inder Petersons is here tracking it all. That didn't look like spring, and you're watching even more.
Yeah, it actually almost looked like snow, all thanks to this weather pattern we're looking at right now. The jet stream has really dropped down far south out in the west. That means that cool air is really banking up against that heat that's out in the plains. So that clash is causing all that instability. Tonight already looking at tornado watches, really kind of focusing here on the eastern portions of Colorado as well as into the Texas Panhandle. But as we go through this evening and through tomorrow, look at the difference. We're talking about the system expanding from Texas all the way in through the Dakotas. This is the epitome here of Tornado Alley. We're not just looking for that severe weather with thunderstorms, but now also that threat for isolated tornadoes. And unfortunately, this threat continues not just through the weekend, but as we go through the middle of next week, Cecilia.
Some rough weather ahead, Indra. Thank you. And some rough going at America's airports tonight. Long lines of weekend travelers snaking through the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in Atlanta, just waiting to get through the security check. And now the head of the TSA with a dire warning. Summer travel will not get much better. Here's ABC's Mary Bruce on one way flyers are getting through those long lines just a little faster.
1 week out from the Memorial Day rush, travelers are bracing themselves for more of this. In Seattle, marathon lines.
These lines are ridiculous. I travel a lot.
The same problem in Charlotte.
Look at the chaos that goes on.
And in Chicago, where it's been the worst, travelers are giving themselves plenty of time today.
They told us to come early because it was taking so long. There was nobody here.
But don't expect that to last. This summer, 2.5 million of us will fly every day.
This summer is going to continue to be a challenge.
The TSA is adding over 760 agents, but they say that's a drop in the bucket. To fix the problem for good, they say they need more money.
They have to move faster. Therefore, something's going to give sooner or later.
At least one airport is taking matters into their own hands. In Seattle, they've hired 90 contractors. And flyers are flocking to TSA PreCheck. Enrollment for the $85 program doubling in the last month. A whopping 16,000 people are signing up on average each day. Now, the TSA is encouraging travelers to sign up for that PreCheck.